Asli Bashir on behalf of Timothy Folson.
Your name, sir?
Timothy Folson.
Thank you. What are we doing?
We're requesting the earliest available preliminary exam date,
Discovery is complete.
to our knowledge.
People have their witnesses available the 8th. Preliminary examination in person, July 8th, 2025, 9 a.m. That is before Judge Freshour.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Bond will continue.
Public Defender Lauren Perny on behalf of Mr. Fonseca. Mr. Fonseca, please state your name for the record.
Matthew Louis Fonseca.
Thank you.
Your Honor, regarding the PCC, we're asking for an adjournment. Mr. Cook and I are engaged in resolution discussions, and I would like to address bond, if I may. Thank you, Mr. Allen.
July 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. Yes, as to bond, Ms. Perry.
Mr. Fonseca's bond on this case, as well as another case pending before Your Honor, is 510%. To me, that sounds like a credit type of bond. When Mr. Cook and I discussed it prior to the hearing, he did have.
She just makes up stuff.
It sounds right to me.
I
But he did have holds at the time of the arraignment, which are no longer holding them. So I wonder if that was the magistrate's intention. Regardless, I don't want to put words in the magistrate's mouth, but I would be asking for a personal bond for Mr. Fonseca. This is nonviolent felony charge, Your Honor. He's been very communicative with me. He's eager to resolve all of his cases. He would be staying at the Delana Center if released. He had employment at Gandy Dancer prior to being incarcerated.
What's the other case, though?
The other case is a retail fraud before Your Honor. And then he has two cases out of 14A2 misdemeanors that have $1 each. So
Excuse me?
yeah, $1 each. So his total bond holding him is $102, but he's unable to post that.
Yep.
You believe that?
Do you believe it, Mr. Allen?
Sorry, didn't mean to put you on the spot. Is there a response from the people?
There's no objection from the people. I just note two out of county from Adrian. I see they are inactive holds for a large weekly auto and attempt R or just a full RNO. I don't believe they're going to be picking him up on those.
Bond in this case is reduced to a $500 personal recognizance bond. In this matter, so I'll grant the motion for bond reduction. Yeah. When is the other matter before me set?
The second.
The second. So if you get a stipulation to me, I'll sign off on that.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right. So that court does call the case People versus Bradley Chavez.
Thank you, Your Honor. Constable Basin on behalf of Mr. Bradley Chavez, who's present to my right. Bradley, can you state your full name for the record, please?
Bradley Chavez.
Thank you.
Your Honor, today's the date and time set for a probable cause conference. At this time, we're going to be requesting an adjournment. Our office has not received discovery as of yesterday in the evening.
July 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. bond.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. Court calls case People versus Douglas Hill.
Stephanie Cannon on behalf of Mr. Hill, who's appearing to my right. Mr. Hill, could you please state your name for the record?
Douglas Hill.
Your Honor, we are just simply asking this case be set for a preliminary exam.
You sure?
Yes.
No, I'm kidding.
Yes.
Just asking.
Yes.
Never quite know what you're asking. Is discovery complete?
To my knowledge, it is, yes, Your Honor.
People have their witnesses available the 8th.
That's fine.
Preliminary examination in person will be set July 8th, 2025, 9 a.m. before Judge Fresh hour. Bond continued. Court does call the case, People versus Deshaun Clifton.
Stephanie Can on behalf of Mr. Clifton.
Your name?
Deshaun Clifton.
Your Honor, we are simply asking for a 2-week adjournment. He's gone through our AIM process. It's my understanding we will have the information, so I should be able to mitigate this down, or hopefully mitigate it down.
That objection, July 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Your Honor.
Thank you. Court calls case, People versus Mark Hubbard.
And then on behalf of the people, Your Honor.
Really good. Motion on behalf of Mr. Mark Hubbard, who is approaching the podium.
Your name, sir?
Mark Hubbard.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. I have spoken to Mr. Hubbard and to the people on this matter. We are requesting a 2-week adjournment. There are some videos that were turned over to our office. Mr. Hubbard would like to review those a little further and have me review them with his with one of the family members who helps him make some decisions.
July 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Thank you, Judge.
Court calls case, People versus Antoine Coleman.
Record, sir.
Antoine Coleman.
Thank you, Judge. Mr. Coleman has started the evaluation process with 14B Recovery Court. That is not yet completed. If we could have a brief adjournment, please.
Probable cause conference, July 17th, 2025, 9 a.m.
Thank you, Judge.
Bond continued.
My birthday, July 6th. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Court calls the case, People versus Stephen Johnston.
And Laura Yagus is public defender with, and on behalf of Mr. Johnson, who is standing to my right, could you state your name for the court?
Stephen Michael Johnson.
Your Honor, I do have a green sheet here. I am asking for another adjournment. I know it's been adjourned a few times, but I would ask for another adjournment for continued conversations with Mr. Johnson. We're attempting to set up a plan for him to get into treatment.
Got it. July 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Thank you, Your Honor.
They're probably sure. Court does call the case, People versus Parker Davis.
Morning, Your Honor. Maybe those are the people.
Mr. Public Defender Jay Bellinger on behalf of Mr. Davis, who is approaching. Mr. Davis, can you please state your name for the record?
Parker Bradley Davis.
And Your Honor, we're just requesting a 3-week adjournment for purposes of mitigation. I believe I will have that completed next week, and I'll send that over to the prosecutor for review.
July 17th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continued.
Thank you.
Court calls case, People versus Jeffrey Lewis.
Assistant Public Defender Jay Bellinger on behalf of Mr. Lewis, who approaches. Lewis, can you please state your name for the record?
Jeffrey Scott Lewis.
And Your Honor, I believe we have reached a resolution in this matter that would require a waiver. So my client's prepared to do that today, and I'll let Mr. Kennedy put that offer on the record.
The offer is to join the costing for all purposes. That's a max penalty of $4,000 fine, and count 3 of Peterson crime, imprisonment of 4 years or more, or less than 10 years. Sentencing agreement and no probation conditions as set forth by probation.
That is my understanding of the agreement, Your Honor.
Sir, you're waiving your right to a preliminary examination?
Yes.
You understand that a preliminary examination is a proceeding where the people would have to show by probable cause that the offenses alleged were committed and that you committed them.
Yes.
You understand you will not have that hearing and that you'll proceed to circuit court for further resolution.
Yes, sir.
People also waive their right.
Yes, sir.
Preliminary examination having been waived, defendants bound over to circuit court on the 3 counts.
Thank you, Your Honor. We acknowledge receipt of information, waive formal reading, stand mute at this time.
Defendant having waived formal reading, standing mute, court will enter a not guilty plea. Pretrial will be set for
July 17, 2025 at 1:30.
July 17, 2025, 1:30, Judge Slay.
Thank you.
Bond continued.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Court calls the case of People versus London Daughtery.
Ready, Judge. Court shall cease to assist in London Diary. Sent to my right at the podium. Please state your name for the record, sir.
London Daughtery.
Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. Spoken to Mr. Dowdy and to Mr. Childress. My understanding is the people have made a request to see if there's any body cam or video footage from the car in this incident. They're going to confirm that, so I'm asking for a brief 2-week adjournment, Your Honor.
Probable cause conference will be July 10th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond will continue.
Thank you very much, Judge.
Well, basically, on behalf of Mr. Ellis, Your Honor, who's present to my right.
Okay,
Thomas Ellis.
thank you.
I ain't been called Tommy in many years.
Pardon?
I ain't been called Tommy in many years.
All right, what are we doing?
Your Honor, I'm going to be requesting an adjournment to the July 17th date. My client has been screened with a 14B recovery court. We're just waiting to see if he's going to be accepted into that or not.
You're going to take him to the 17th to do that?
Well, next week, or I'm sorry, that's the next available date.
Birthday.
No, I haven't.
He has some medical issues that he needs to take
Medical.
care of.
Gotcha.
I think that
Probable cause conference July 17th, 2025, 9 a.m. Bond continue. All right, thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Court calls case People versus Alexander McMullen.
Assistant Public Defender Chelsea Vergils with and on behalf of Alexander McMullen, please state your name.
Alexander McMullen.
Thank you.
Your Honor, today we are asking to set a preliminary exam and asking to address bond.
All discovery is complete.
Yes, I believe so, Your Honor.
People have their witnesses available the 8th. Preliminary examination in person, July 8th, 2025, 9 a.m. before Judge Freshour. As to bond.
Your Honor, we're asking you to consider release on a personal bond with a home confinement tether. Mr. McMullen is a local man. He has family in Washtenaw. He proudly graduated from Milan High School and had been, prior to his incarceration, working part-time at a hotel in Ann Arbor. He does have a parole hold, but he has spoken with his parole officer and does not believe he would be violated for this case, so he hopes to just continue on with his parole.
Do you have confirmation of that?
I don't, Your Honor. No, I haven't spoken with
Okay,
the
go ahead.
officer. That concludes my request for a
Okay.
personal bond.
Any response from the people?
I mean, Your Honor, the defendant tried to appeal the resisting threatening police. He was cited by the police officers for breaking in cars. They attempted to stop him, jumped in the car, got in a chase, crashed and pulled. That led that vehicle was apprehended shortly thereafter by police. It taken me a while.
But needless to say, he was on parole at the time of this.
But he was just given a year in jail for resisting instruction.
Motion for bond reduction is denied. Bond will continue.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Of Miss Murray, who is approaching. Miss Murray, please state your name for the record.
Jacqueline Murray.
Your Honor, we are requesting adjournments on the 3 cases. We're working out a plea that would hopefully encompass all cases and is dependent on Miss Murray completing the in jail Dawn Farm program, which she's already enrolled in.
So, just so that I'm clear, the plea is contingent upon her completing that.
Yes.
How much more time does she have to go in that?
I have no idea. Every time I have class, I'm here, so in court, so.
All right. Well, I'm trying to anticipate a date that she might complete.
Well, I think it's an 80-day program. She has started attending, which is good because there is a wait list. She is serving a 93-day sentence out of another court, right?
I think this one.
So.
Well, why don't I do this? Also, so that she's not missing classes. Why don't I adjourn this then to August 7th? Okay.
And if the circumstances change, we'll get in
Right,
touch.
then you can get to the court and we can move her date up since she's in custody, but I think she's missing class when she's here. I think that's what she's telling me. I
Yeah.
don't want her to miss class. That's gonna be it. All right?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Assistant PD Michael Gaddy on behalf of Mr. Peterson. Mr. Peterson, can you state your name for the court?
Benjamin Donald Peterson.
Thank you.
Your Honor, we're going to be requesting that the court set a date for Mr. Peterson's exam, and we'd also like to address the issue of bond when the court's ready.
You have all discovered.
Yes, to my knowledge.
People have their witnesses available the 8th.
We'll do our best, Your Honor.
Preliminary examination in person, July 8th, 2025. 9 a.m. before Judge.
Judge Fresh.
Fresh hour.
Thank you, Your Honor. May I address that?
You may.
Your Honor, our client has informed us that he has no prior convictions and he was extradited from the state of Missouri where he resides. He is willing to stay on a GPS tether and remain in the state of Michigan, or alternatively, he can leave the state.
We had to extradite him?
Yes.
Hey, go ahead.
Or alternatively, he can leave the state of Michigan and not return, and he's willing to do all of his court hearings over Zoom. He does have employment.
Why would we do that if we extradited him? I mean, what? Did he waive extradition? But we had to get him here, right?
Yes, sir.
So if we had to bring him from another state, and I'll wait for your answer, why would I let him leave this state? And why would I let him basically be out of custody at this point?
Well, Your Honor, he's willing to stay in state on a GPS tether.
But he wasn't willing to come here to address these issues.
Yeah, he waived.
Go ahead. I'll let you complete your argument for the record, but.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. We were just requesting a personal bond, or if the court was not inclined to grant this, a lower bond with a 10% option.
Okay. I don't need a response, but thank you for standing. Most for bond reductions denied. I think it's rather evident on the record as to why the court is denying that. So his bond is denied. The exam is set for the 8th. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, let's talk about that. This hearing had a little bit of everything. Requests for adjournments, pleas for bond reductions, and Judge Simpson keeping a steady hand on the wheel the entire time. You could tell right from the start that Judge Simpson was prepared to be patient, but wasn't going to be talked into anything that didn't make sense. The first matter involved Mr. Ellis, who was hoping to get some extra time to see if he'd be accepted into a recovery court program. His attorney mentioned medical issues as part of the scheduling need, and the judge seemed pretty understanding there, granting the adjournment without much fuss. That part went smoothly enough, and you could feel a cooperative atmosphere in the room. Things took a turn when it was Mr. McMullen's turn. His defense counsel laid out a request for a personal bond with home confinement, emphasizing his local ties and recent employment. She tried to make the case that his parole officer wouldn't hold this situation against him, But when pressed, she had to admit she hadn't actually spoken to the officer to confirm. That detail alone was probably enough to sink the argument. But the prosecution also pointed out that Mr. McMullen had been caught by officers trying to get away from a scene involving car break-ins while already on parole. Judge Simpson denied the bond reduction decisively, and you could sense he wasn't inclined to reward that set of facts with a release. Next up was Ms. Murray, who was working her way through a treatment program while serving another sentence. Her lawyer and the judge spent some time trying to sort out dates so she wouldn't have to keep missing her classes. This was one of those moments where Judge Simpson's practical side came through. He was genuinely trying to avoid disrupting her recovery schedule, and even suggested moving things around if circumstances changed. It was a small but telling example of how he balances accountability with real efforts to help defendants stay on track when they're making progress. Finally, we had Mr. Peterson, who was extradited all the way from Missouri. His attorney floated the idea of letting him either stay in Michigan on a tether or head back to Missouri and appear by Zoom. Judge Simpson was visibly puzzled by that. And to be fair, so was I, if someone has to be brought across state lines, because they wouldn't come on their own. It's a pretty big ask to immediately let them go home and promise to log in virtually. The judge didn't need much time to think about that. One, he politely thanked counsel for the argument, but denied the bond reduction without entertaining further debate. Overall, the courtroom atmosphere was calm, professional, and at times lightly exasperated, especially when the proposals got a little out there. But Judge Simpson remained composed and consistent throughout, showing a mix of patience and firmness. That left little doubt he was in charge of the proceedings. If you found this hearing insightful, consider subscribing, hitting the bell, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. I read every one.